On a cold morning in 1903, a machine of wood and cloth left the ground for 12 seconds and changed the world forever. This is a true story of two brothers who taught the world to fly. They were not rich. They had no college degree. They fixed bicycles in a small shop in Ohio. People laughed at them. Scientists said flying was impossible. But Wilbur and Orville Wright did not listen. Every day, they watched the birds and they believed. Stay with me and learn simple English. Because if two boys from a bicycle shop can teach the world to fly, imagine what you can do. Please like and subscribe to Epic Story English. Our story begins in a small house in the United States, more than 150 years ago. Wilbur Wright was born in 1867. His little brother Orville was born in 1871. They lived in a town called Dayton in the state of Ohio. Their family was not rich. Their father was a preacher. His name was Milton Wright. He traveled to many towns to speak to people about God. He was a kind man, but he did not have much money. Their mother was named Susan. She was a quiet woman, but she was very clever with her hands. She could fix things. She could build things. She made small toys for her children. The brothers learned this skill from her. They learned to use tools. They learned to build. They learned to fix what was broken. The Wright family was a happy family. There were many children in the house. There was always noise. There was always something to do. Wilbur and Orville were very close. They did everything together. They played together. They worked together. They dreamed together. Even when they were old men, they were best friends. This friendship was special. It would change the world one day. But of course, they did not know that yet. One day, when the boys were young, their father came home from a long trip. He had a gift for them. It was a small toy. The toy was a little flying machine. It was made of paper, bamboo, and cork. It had a rubber band inside. When you twisted the rubber band and let it go, the toy went up into the air. It flew across the room like a bird. The boys were amazed. They had never seen anything like it. They watched it fly again and again. They laughed. They played with it for hours. Then, after some time, the toy broke. Most children would feel sad and stop. But Wilbur and Orville did not stop. They did something different. They tried to build a new one by themselves. They studied the broken toy. They looked at every part. They tried to understand how it worked. They made their own flying toys. Some worked. Many did not, but they kept trying. This little broken toy planted a seed in their hearts. It was a small seed, but it would grow into a very big dream. The dream of flying. As the boys grew older, they were always busy. They were always curious. Wilbur loved to read. He read every book in the house. He read about science. He read about history. He read about birds. Orville loved to build and to sell things. When he was a boy, he made kites and sold them to his friends. He was a small businessman, even as a child. They were two different boys, but they shared the same mind. They both loved to ask questions. They both wanted to know how things worked. And they both looked up at the sky and wondered. Before we continue, I have a small question for you. Do you believe that a big dream can begin from one small toy, like it did for these two brothers? If you think yes, type the number 1 in the comments. If you think no, type the number 0. I would love to hear what you think. Now, let's continue our story. The years passed, and the two boys became young men. They needed to make money, so they started to work with their hands, just like their mother taught them. First, they started a printing business. Wilbur and Orville built their own printing machine. They printed a small newspaper. They printed papers for other people in the town. They were good at it. They worked hard. But soon, something new became very popular in America. That new thing was the bicycle. In those days, the bicycle was like magic. Everybody wanted one. People rode bicycles to work. People rode bicycles for fun. So in 1892, the brothers opened a bicycle shop. At first, they only fixed broken bicycles. Then they began to sell them. And finally, they did something special. They started to build their own bicycles with their own hands in their own shop. The bicycle shop was a success. It gave the brothers money. But more important, it gave them something else. It gave them skills. Building a bicycle taught them about balance. It taught them about light, strong materials. It taught them about machines and movement. These lessons would become very important later, but the brothers did not know that yet. Then, in the year 1896, the brothers read some sad news. It was about a man from Germany. His name was Otto Lilienthal. Otto loved flying. He built large wings, like the wings of a bird. He jumped from hills and glided through the air. He was famous. People called him the Flying Man. But one day, his glider fell from the sky. Otto Lilienthal died. When Wilbur read this news, he felt something deep inside. He was not afraid. He was inspired. He thought about flying all the time. He could not stop thinking about it. He asked himself a simple question. If birds can fly, why can't a man fly too? So the brothers began to study. They read every book they could find about flying. But there were not many books. So Wilbur wrote a letter to a famous place in Washington, the Smithsonian. He asked them to send him everything they had about flight. He wanted to learn from the people who came before him. He wanted to understand their mistakes. Wilbur and Orville read for hours. They read at night. They read after work. They studied birds in the sky. They watched how birds turned. They watched how birds used their wings to balance in the wind. The answer, they believed, was in the birds. But the world did not believe in them. In those days, most people thought flying was impossible. Many smart men, scientists, and professors said the same thing. They said a flying machine would never work. They said only a fool would try. They said it was a waste of time and money. Some people even laughed at men who dreamed of flying. But Wilbur and Orville were not afraid of laughter. They were quiet men. They did not argue. They did not shout. They just kept working. They believed in something the others could not see. They believed that one day a man could fly, and they decided that they would be the ones to prove it. They just needed the right place to begin. Now the brothers had a big question. Where could they test their flying machine? They needed a special place. They needed a place with strong, steady wind. They needed soft ground, so a fall would not hurt too much. They needed open space with few people and few trees. So Wilbur wrote a letter to the weather office in Washington. He asked them about the windiest places in America. The answer came back with a name, Kitty Hawk. Kitty Hawk was a small, lonely place in North Carolina, far away by the sea. It had strong winds. It had big sand hills. It had wide, empty beaches. It was perfect in the year 1900. Wilbur traveled to Kitty Hawk for the first time. The trip was long and hard. Orville came soon after. The place was beautiful, but it was not easy to live in. There were strong winds. There was hot sun. There were sandstorms. There were mosquitoes everywhere. The brothers lived in a simple tent. They had little food, but they were happy. They were finally testing their dream. That first year, they brought a glider. A glider is a flying machine with no engine. It flies only with the wind. The brothers flew their glider like a big kite. Sometimes a man lay on top of it, but there was a problem. The glider did not lift as well as they hoped. It did not work the way the book said it should. The next year, in 1901, they came back with a bigger glider. But again, there were problems. The glider was hard to control. Sometimes it went up too fast. Sometimes it fell down. On the trip home, Wilbur was sad. He told his brother that man would not fly for 50 years. But the brothers did not give up. They went back to their bicycle shop, and they had an important idea. Maybe the information in the books was wrong. Maybe the numbers from the other scientists were not correct. So they decided to find the truth themselves. They built a small machine in their shop. It was called a wind tunnel. It was like a long box with a fan. Inside, they could blow air over small model wings. They tested more than 200 different wing shapes. They wrote down everything. They measured everything. It was slow, careful work. But finally, they had their own numbers. And their numbers were correct. Now they understood how a wing really worked. The brothers also solved another problem. The most important problem of all. How can a pilot control the machine in the air? How can he turn left and right? How can he keep his balance in the wind? They found the answer by watching the birds again. A bird changes the shape of its wings to turn. So the brothers built wings that could twist just a little. This idea was called wing warping. With it, the pilot could control the machine. It was a simple idea, but it was brilliant. It was the secret that other people had missed. In 1902, the brothers returned to Kitty Hawk with a new glider. This one had their new wings. This one used their new numbers. And this time it worked. The glider flew beautifully. They flew it again and again, almost 1,000 times. They learned to turn. They learned to balance. They learned to fly. Now they knew the truth. They were ready to try something no one had ever done before. Now, the brothers needed one more thing. They needed power. A glider flies with the wind, but a real flying machine needs an engine. The engine would turn the propellers, and the propellers would push the machine through the air. So the brothers asked the car companies for an engine, but no engine was light enough and strong enough. So they decided to build their own. They worked together with a man in their shop. His name was Charlie Taylor. He was a good mechanic. In only 6 weeks, they built a small, light engine. Then the brothers studied the propellers. This was very difficult. Nobody understood how a propeller really worked. But Wilbur and Orville thought about it deeply. They understood that a propeller is like a small wing, turning in the air. They built 2 propellers, and they were almost perfect. In the autumn of 1903, the brothers went back to Kitty Hawk one more time. They brought their new machine. They called it the Flyer. It had wings made of wood and cloth. It had their light engine. It had their 2 propellers. But the weather was bad. There was rain. There was wind. There was cold. Something always broke. They had to wait. They had to fix. They had to wait again. The days passed slowly. Winter was coming, but the brothers stayed. They were so close now. They could not stop. Finally, the morning of December 17th, 1903, arrived. It was cold. The wind was strong, almost too strong. A few local men came to watch and to help. It was Orville's turn to fly. He lay down on the bottom wing of the machine. Wilbur stood beside it. The engine started. It was loud. The propellers turned faster and faster. Then Orville let go. The machine moved forward along a wooden track. It went faster, and then slowly it lifted into the air. It was flying. For 12 seconds, the machine flew through the cold December air. It traveled about 40 meters. Then it touched the sand. 12 seconds. That was all. It does not sound like much. But in those 12 seconds, the whole world changed. For the first time in all of history, a machine with an engine carried a man into the sky. The dream of thousands of years had come true, and it came true because of 2 brothers from a bicycle shop. That day, they flew 4 times. The last flight was the best. Wilbur flew for almost a whole minute. He traveled more than 250 meters. The brothers were quiet, but their hearts were full. They had done it. But here is the strange part of the story. The world did not care. The brothers sent the news to the newspapers, but the newspapers did not believe them. They thought it was a lie. They thought it was impossible. How could 2 men who fixed bicycles do something that great scientists could not? For years, many people did not believe the Wright brothers could fly. Some called them liars. Some ignored them completely. It was hard. They had changed the world, but the world refused to see it. Yet, just like before, the brothers did not stop. They did not argue with the newspapers. They simply kept flying again and again, better and better. And they knew that one day, the whole world would have to look up and believe. And that day finally came. A few years later, in 1908, the brothers showed their flying machine to the world. Wilbur traveled across the ocean to France. In front of a large crowd, he flew his machine through the sky. He turned. He circled. He flew with beauty and control. The people could not believe their eyes. They cried. They cheered. The same world that once called them liars now called them heroes. At the same time, back in America, Orville flew for the Army. Soon, everyone knew the names of the 2 brothers from Ohio. Kings wanted to meet them. Newspapers wrote about them. The whole world finally looked up and believed. The 2 boys who fixed bicycles had become the fathers of flight. Think about how far they had come. They started with a small broken toy. They had no money. They had no college degree. They had no famous teachers. They had only their curiosity, their books, and each other. Everyone told them it was impossible. The scientists laughed. The newspapers doubted. But Wilbur and Orville did not listen to the people who said no. They listened to the birds. They listened to their dream. And they listened to each other. They worked and they failed and they tried again. And in the end, they gave the world a gift that no one can ever take away. They gave us the sky. The Wright brothers showed us something important. They showed us that you do not need to be rich to do great things. They showed us that you do not need a special school to change the world. They showed us that the most important things are patience, curiosity, and the courage to keep trying. When other people say you cannot do something, you do not have to believe them. Wilbur and Orville heard the word impossible 1,000 times, and they answered with 12 seconds in the sky. And here's the most beautiful part for you, my friend. Today, you are doing something similar. Right now, you are learning English. Maybe it feels hard. Maybe you make mistakes. Maybe someone once told you that you are too old, or not smart enough, or that it is too late. But remember the Wright brothers. Every new word you learn is like one small flight. Every story you finish makes your wings a little stronger. You are not just learning a language. You are teaching yourself to fly. So do not give up. Keep going, one word at a time. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this story. If this story gave you hope, please give the video a like and subscribe to Epic Story English so we can take this beautiful journey together again. And now I have one last question for you. If everyone around you said your dream was impossible, would you keep trying anyway, just like the Wright brothers? If your answer is yes, type the number 1 in the comments. If your answer is no, type the number 0. I would truly love to read your answer. Until next time, my friends, keep dreaming, keep trying, and keep learning the beautiful language of English.